I'm Trevor Nicole with your monthly market update, and as always, I'm happy to be here. Winter may still be lingering outside, but of course, the Greater Toronto Area housing market began to show meaningful signs of warming up in March, which is great news. Compared to last year, sales edged slightly higher, and with prices down year over year, buyers are finding improved affordability as we move into the spring market, which is great news. At the same time, however, broader economic conditions continue to evolve, and as stability returns on the trade and geopolitical front, consumer confidence is expected to strengthen, setting the stage for a more active and competitive market environment. So here is a market snapshot with the numbers as 5,039 home sales reported in March, up 1.7% year over year, which essentially is somewhat of a rounding error. Active listings decreased by 8% year over year, indicating a tightening of inventory. Average selling price $1,117,796, down 6.7% year over year. Month over month prices remain somewhat stable with a slight increase from February of 2026. Early signs suggest downward price pressure may be somewhat easing. Jason Mercer, our Chief Information Officer, noted that buyers continued to benefit from substantial negotiating power across major market segments. However, this dynamic largely explains the year-over-year price decline. However, as inventory begins to tighten, as we saw in March, there's a strong likelihood that prices will begin to level off as we move through the balance of 2026. Buyers currently hold the advantage right now, but that advantage is beginning to narrow. With inventory tightening, policy incentives in place, and long-term supply constraints intensifying, this window presents a strategic opportunity for those ready to act. The picture is there's a window of opportunity. This is where perspective matters. The question for buyers today isn't if they should purchase, it's when they should purchase. If you're a buyer, do you want to buy when you have choice, leverage, and negotiating power, or when conditions shift, inventory tightens further, and competition returns? Because make no mistake, price recovery in the GTA is not a matter of if, but when. Despite the urgent need for millions of new homes to repair long-term affordability, construction activity continues to decline, making today's window for a buyer opportunity both rare and time-limited. The reality is we are facing a structural housing shortage. Over the past 30 years, the GTA has welcomed roughly 2 million more people into our region, yet we are building less housing than we historically have. At the same time, new construction activity has slowed dramatically, effectively freezing in many segments, even with government initiatives aimed at improving affordability. The fact remains, we need millions of homes, and current construction levels are moving in the opposite direction. So it's pretty logical. The imbalance between supply and demand doesn't disappear. It builds pressure. And of course, over time, that pressure translates into higher prices. Today's market offers something rare: time, choice, and negotiating power. Those conditions don't tend to last. Now, for those of you who watch the news, there has been a major policy update. HST Relief on new homes, in a significant move to address affordability and stimulate new housing supply, the federal government and provincial government has introduced a historic HST rebate program. Here's what you need to know. Effective dates: April the 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2027. Homes up to $1 million, there will be a full HST rebate up to $130,000. Now, homes between $1 million and $1.5 million, there will be a flat maximum rebate of $130,000. And if you would like more details about how this is structured, perhaps give us a call. We're always happy to help to go through these things in more detail. The eligibility applies to buyers, including investors and repeat buyers. There are also some additional details regarding municipal development charge relief, but those are still being finalized. This is a game-changing opportunity because we need some positive news and we need some help, particularly for buyers considering pre-construction or new build homes. Many developers are already aggressively promoting the remaining inventory, which is a great opportunity. And when combined with this rebate, we are also seeing very compelling price points emerge. These measures are expected to re-energize the buyer demand, support stagnant construction activity, and of course play a critical role in addressing the GTA's ongoing housing supply challenges. So here are the final thoughts for this monthly market update. So do you think the government is finally scratching its head and saying, we have a housing crisis on our hands, I would have to answer the question confidently that yes is the answer. What does this mean? This means that there will be opportunity for you. And if you need help making informed decisions, you'd like to sit down and have a consultation, we're always happy to help. See you next month.